President Trump returning from his trip to China with trade deals, including a massive deal with Boeing.
It was an amazing period of time. President Xi's an incredible guy. Got along, made a lot of great trade deals, including over 200 planes for Boeing with a promise of 750 planes, which will be by far the largest order ever if they do a good job with the 200.
Both Xi and Trump also coming to an agreement on U.S. oil after inflation hit a 3-year high, driven by higher energy and gas prices.
They've agreed they want to buy oil from the United States. They're going to go to Texas. We're going to start sending Chinese ships to Texas and to Louisiana and to Alaska. And I think that was another thing that was agreed to. That's a big thing.
With us now is Steve Moore, co-founder of the Committee to Unleash Prosperity and former economic advisor to President Trump. So great to see you this morning, Steve. So overall, how would you rate the deals that President Trump came back from China with?
Oh, there's no question here, Charlie, that the United States and Donald Trump were the big winner here, and nobody should be too surprised about that. No one knows the art of the deal better than Donald J. Trump. And so, by the way, we do not know all of the aspects of what was agreed to behind those 3 days of closed-door meetings. But everything that has been publicized so far indicates tens of billions of dollars of additional purchases by China of U.S. Manufactured goods, of our technology goods, you mentioned our oil, and our agriculture. So that is good for American workers, American farmers. But one thing that's really important is that you cannot trust China. I mean, remember, it was like with Reagan when he used to negotiate with the Soviet Union. It was trust but verify. I mean, the Chinese will say anything in terms of shake hand deal, but you have to make sure that they follow through with this. But it was a very important meeting for the American economy, and Trump is the winner here, and so is the U.S.
Of course, it's also kind of comical to listen to Democrats suddenly start talking about the threat of China when it was President Trump who was the first politician in either party to come along in 40 years to recognize that China was this problem. I wanted to ask you specifically about, in addition to the oil and gas, to the issue of rare earths. Obviously, that is a major sticking point. President Trump, the White House indicating that they were able to make some movement when it comes to rare earths.
Well, I just want to address that first point. You're exactly correct, Charlie. Let's not forget, despite all the pomp and circumstance and all the smiles and the handshakes, China's the evil empire right now. They are the new Soviet Union, and they cannot be trusted, and they have been involved in incredibly predatory trade practices. The big deal about what's going to happen with Taiwan was raised many times. We don't know exactly what was agreed to there, but there's no question that China is getting ready to take over Taiwan, the one beacon of freedom in that area. So that makes me very nervous. Now, on rare earths, yeah, we are unfortunately dependent on some very important rare earths that come from China, and they have put controls on that. But this makes me very angry, Charlie, because there is no country in the world that has more rare earths and minerals than the U.S. of A. So, Charlie, somebody's got to tell me why it is that we are not now, Trump has a mine, baby, mine strategy so that we don't have to be dependent on Russia and China for our rare earths and our mineral resources, because we got them in the mountains of Montana, in the Dakotas, in Colorado. Why don't we start getting, no country in the world has more of these minerals or oil than the United States does. And thankfully, Trump is going after those.
And of course, when it comes to rare earths, just like with oil and gas, when the United States mines these things and extracts it from the earth, we do it a whole lot cleaner than when the evil empire does it, because they don't care about the environment at all. Steve Moore, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. By the way, Charlie, I've never been beat up by a girl, except, there was that one time where it was the third grade. You know, that did happen.
I can relate very, very well with that.
There's a first time for everything.
Exactly. He wants in on your bar fight club. Yeah. See, he wants in. We got Steve Moore recruited now, too.
Charlie's going to start a fight club.
and you'll be welcome into the octagon.
Steve and Brian, are you in it as well?
He throws in his right hook, economic jab, and left on GDP. I could see Steve. He'd be a tough fight. Thanks, Steve. Good to see you, man.
Great to see you.
Take care, guys.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.